Hey everyone, welcome back to Go Kick Me, your favorite crowdfunding news and reviews channel here on YouTube. So today we're going to talk about a Kickstarter that didn't make it. I don't know, I don't really no point in doing this one because you can't bid on it, but I guess consider it a case study on interesting stuff you can find on Kickstarter and or kind of what not to do for crowdfunding. But yeah, this one I actually saw in the kind of cross-promotional updates for Sky Valley, which I did earlier today, but basically you'll see it a couple days before this one came out. And then I noticed that it failed when I looked up the actual project. So Livin' Farms did a mealworm farm. Yes, the Hive Explorer Smart Insect Farm for upcycling food waste. Grow fertilizer and mealworm protein in your kitchen on your kitchen scraps. Safely controlled ecosystem. Fun STEM education kit. Okay, so what the heck are mealworms? What are they talking about here? So mealworms are basically worms. They're little worms that you can grow and use for pet food and other things like that. And you can also eat them because they're high in protein. So this group is some kind of like, I don't know, futuristic alternative Soylent Green collective.
Our
And
journey
they want
started
everyone
5 years ago, inspired by the UN's call for action to use insects for food security, and the fact that more than 1/3 of our food is wasted.
Yeah, so they're sort of not just talking about how to feed your pets, but also how to feed people. One thing to note, I could tell very quickly from like the second shot in here. That's Hong Kong. That's Hong Kong. And then later on in the video, this is Hong Kong for sure. Absolutely Hong Kong. So, in fact, despite saying San Francisco, in fact, these people have run out of Hong Kong, and I even looked up their website, and they have a UK company and a Hong Kong company. So I'm from Hong Kong. This video's coming from Hong Kong. I know my Hong Kong. And so anyway, kind of irrelevant, but I guess, yeah, in the tight apartments of Hong Kong, if we can grow our own worms and eat them with our kitchen scraps, that's good, right? So anyway, these guys have developed some sort of fancy pants mealworm farming system.
Lots of research and finally created
Modular.
the Hive, the world's first smart insect home. Today, our hives are in hundreds of homes around the world,
Including in Hong Kong. So one thing to note, they do mention smart insect farm. This is a farm that is smart, not a farm for smart insects. Yeah. So anyway, let's talk specifically about what they're making here. So this is sort of like a starter kit, which I guess is basically the equivalent of like one of the units in this little modular thing that they made. So they made like a standalone starter kit, which can be used in education and stuff to teach the circle of life. So what is it? Well, first of all, it's educational material. You got your mealworms. They become pupa. Pupa has a beetle. Beetle lays some eggs, and the cycle repeats. Well, I didn't know they lived that long. So mealworms basically are like, the caterpillar that turns into the butterfly. And the butterfly is the beetle. So anyway, this thing, as you can see here, is a farm. There we go. Where literally you put a bunch of mealworms on this level, and you can, well, let's start at the top, I guess. You put beetles in here, they mate, they drop the eggs down through this mesh, and then you can, I guess you can separate them out here, and then once they hatch, then you can push them out into here, and then their poop will go down into here, so you can basically collect the mealworm poop for fertilizer and kind of have the whole farm in one go, all in one step, the whole circle of life there. And at some point when these things grow, you stick them up here once they hatch or whatever. So where do you put them in? Do they become pupa? Yeah, so I guess the pupa go here, then they become beetles and yada yada yada. So anyway, it's interesting. It's like a little bio class. When I first saw this, I thought it was some sort of salad box. When I saw it in the Sky Valley thing here, I was like, what is that? Oh, it's not salad, it's moving. So yeah, so literally yeah, you just put your table scraps in here. Apparently, from what I've learned, these things mostly eat like oats and whatnot, but then you have to put the table scraps in, like the apple cores or the potatoes or carrot leftovers, into here to actually hydrate the beetles. So yeah, and then the key thing is, I guess, the real proprietary technology, not just the trays, is they have some sort of humidity and fan system, temperature and humidity regulation thing. So the question is that really needed? So I guess, yeah, it heats and cools and fans, and it's got a filter, I guess. So then you can grow your worms, and you can eat your worms, or you can feed them to your pets, and you can learn, and they try to make it educational. So you can do some experiments with it. So yeah, that's, I guess, kind of cool. Making your own fertilizer, a few ounces at a time. The question is, like, how many would, like, if I was actually like apartment farming or whatever, and I was trying to grow vegetables, and I was trying to do the whole circle, including the vegetable side, like, how many of these things would I need to set up to get a reasonable amount of fertilizer? But look, kids love it. So I could see this being kind of useful for schools. But then again, and this is also Hong Kong, for sure. There we go. Yeah, I guess you could have a whole bunch of these things stacked. That starts becoming efficient, I guess. And here we are at the same place. So yeah, they got lots of plants in their office, which is the same plant, I guess. So anyway, what does this cost? They've got a bunch of other junk in here, but the first real actual kit, Super Early Bird Pioneer Bird, is was 99 euros, which is whatever, like 100 something, $120, $110. That's kind of pricey for a plastic bin, even with all that, is it really necessary? Temperature control and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, here you go. That's the whole circle, I suppose. So it's interesting. It's cool that they made it so compact and whatnot. But in fact, when in doubt with these things, I always just Google, like, okay, mealworm farm, DIY mealworm farm, because this part doesn't seem too hard. You just got to grate, and I guess the most difficult thing is the fact that you have to make the holes the right size for the things to fall through. But how difficult is that? They actually mentioned, by the way, that you can feed these things styrofoam. They'll actually eat the styrofoam, but they say don't actually eat don't feed your pets or yourself with it afterwards, because it's fucking full of polystyrene. I guess it's okay to fertilize plants with it, maybe. And then here's all your fertilizer. So that's a lot of fertilizer. I wonder how long it took to develop to get that much. Harvest 10 to 20 grams of mealworms every week. So that's not a lot. That's like a tiny amount of mealworms every week. 20 grams. I guess mealworms are heavy, but still, that's like whatever. Like that much? Who knows how much? But can't be very much. So, you're not going to live off of that. You're going to maybe be able to feed a very small pet, like a very, very small pet, with one of these things. But that's about it. Maybe if you shove some extra mealworms, you like really had it filled to the brim with mealworms, maybe you could sustain a small enough hamster or whatever. But yeah, you can eat it too. So anyway, I kind of like the idea. I think it is educational for kids taking biology class. I guess that technically that's STEM. There is some engineering involved, I guess. And you can actually, this is one kind of cool thing. There's a microprocessor in here. You can program it with a Raspberry Pi using the Uno OS or whatever it is. But then I don't know what you would do. You just make the fan blow more. You'd use, you make it hotter to try to like optimize your thing. So yeah, compare two hives next to each other with different settings and compare fertilizer output. Yeah, I guess that's kind of an educational project. It also takes like several weeks to finish. So yes, they are in Hong Kong. That's Chinese University of Hong Kong, where I used to work actually. And so Education-wise, yeah, it's not so bad. Price-wise, yeah, it's kind of pricey. That's the super early bird was 100 plus. The sort of regular price was like 150 or more. The educational materials, the magazine, etc. I don't know if that's really worth it. Let's see. So yeah, so full price would be 180, starting at 99 for the Pioneer. You can get the full Explorer. What does that come with? It comes with a magnifying glass. I spent an extra €100 on a magnifying glass. This one comes with the mealworms, I guess. So getting your mealworms apparently is quite easy. You can just go to a pet store to get them. You can get your 2-pack for not that much cheaper. Explore. Wow. So one set with curriculum and an A0 poster. Okay. So they're really trying to cash in on the educational market here. Oh, you get an educational workshop, but not including. You get a 2-hour immersive workshop for €3,000, and you pay all the expenses to travel there, probably to Hong Kong, with one or more of the creators. That seems kind of pricey. I don't know anyone who's going to do that. But yeah, they will help you get mealworms, I guess. They know the mealworms. Easy to get mealworms. So, yeah, these guys are mostly in Hong Kong, I guess, but not all of them. But let's talk about, one other thing. I noticed that they did get funding from, okay, that's the Hong Kong Science and Technology Park, and which is probably where they have a facility. And they're also funded by SOSV, which is China Accelerator, so basically a sort of a accelerator and VC group, which I am familiar with. I've worked with them before. Oh, they include Korean too, in case you want to read more. I didn't even get this far down. This thing is super long. So I could say execution-wise, they need a little work. Just, yeah, way too much stuff. I don't know why you need to have Korean in there when it doesn't say, like, scroll down for Korean, does it? I don't think so. Anyway, but the thing is, if you just Google for how to set up a mealworm farm, there's a bunch of people who use just, regular, whatever, Bed Bath & Beyond type plastic bins, wherever you get these things, Target, you name it, any kind of hardware store. You get some simple tools, you can basically make your own. This guy does one that's like self-selecting. So basically, you put a screen, he puts a screen in the bottom.
Like I did here. You're going to want to cut out a section just large enough to fit over your new wooden frame.
This young man does a pretty
on
good
the top
video.
And on the sides. And I'm going to finish
and basically
all the way across. This cavity, just a cavity with oats.
I have to say, brevity is important. I totally lack the skill for brevity. This guy managed to do this whole thing in 5.5, almost 6 minutes. But basically, he demonstrates how to set this thing up. So yeah, you basically put your worms, your beetles on top with a bunch of oats in there, and then they bury the eggs in the bottom. The eggs end up falling into the bottom bin. So you're sifting out the worms from the beetles and the pupa. So yeah, kind of gross actually.
You'll just rotate which one this sits on about once a month. So what I do is I'll leave it on this tub for about 1 month so enough eggs can get down there, and then I'll move this top tub to another bottom tub and let it sit there for about a month also. And so all you have to do to get all this started is just go out and buy 200 mealworms, I would say, from your pet store, fill up the bottom layer with that, and then within a few days or a few weeks they'll start turning into these pupa.
Yeah, so not for the people who are squeamish about bugs, but that's basically it. So why would I want to spend 150 or 200 euros, 180 euros at least, $200 plus for all that when I could get the educational experience of making my own without all the humidity regulation stuff. So this guy, all he does is on the sides, he drilled a bunch of holes. Let me find where he did that. He did that somewhere in here. Yeah. He cut out the bottom. He drilled some holes in the side. Let me see on here. Yeah. Drilled a bunch of holes in there. That's so the ones on the bottom can get some air, and then the ones on the top get the air through the lid, which also has a bunch of holes in it. So very simple. Maybe in certain climates this would be too humid or not humid enough. I don't know. But dude, that's gotta cost you whatever, $15. And okay, it doesn't filter out the poop, but you could probably figure out a way to do that too if you basically just did the same kind of grill down at the bottom with a finer mesh, perhaps. So yeah, I'm actually tempted now. I'm gonna go try this. I'm gonna go build a mealworm farm for light. I don't have any plants. I don't have any pets. Can I start teaching my kid how to eat bugs for protein? It'll be super healthy and eco-sensitive. I think he probably wouldn't, based on how picky of an eater is. He doesn't even eat pasta sometimes. He probably won't want to eat live worms, but you could, whatever, grind them up. So I think most of these people actually do it for pet food, so they're not so focused on the sustainability of the human race part, but more for, hey, if I'm gonna keep a bunch of lizards, I don't want to keep going to the pet store to buy bugs. So let me figure out a way of growing them myself. So whatever floats your boat. So this seems kind of actually interesting. Good job to this kid. His name is Mechanical Ninja. Check out that video, how to build a mealworm farm. There's actually tons of these videos. Here's another one. This girl just uses those drawers.
Building your mealworm farm, you're ready to set it up.
And I think in her case, she's just sorting them with the things, but there's no holes in between them, so she actually has to pick them out. So some people will just use a spoon or whatever, like a kitty litter thing, and pick up the mealworms and put the beetles up here, etc., etc.
Depending on how big you want your farm to be, you can start with as many as 1,000 mealworms. And then once they pupate, you'll be able to take them out and put them in the top drawer.
Yeah, so she doesn't go into detail about how to do that, but yeah, self-sorting, DIY, mealworms, there's lots of these things. So I haven't even watched some of these. Emmy Made in Japan. Let's see how Emmy's doing. Oh, another YouTube ad. Let's go to Japan. Bugmas. So this just came out like a couple weeks ago.
Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. Welcome back to another countdown
Wow,
to
she's
Christmas.
super popular.
It's Bugmas 2018. If you've missed my 2 previous years of Bugmas, I shall direct you to the playlist, and it's my little 5-day count.
Okay, I'm gonna get a copyright strike from Emmy. So anyway, yeah, it's a real thing. She eats bugs, I guess. You can too. You could make your own mealworm farm thing too. Cricket cook. Oh man, I'm gonna stop watching this before. I'm not a big bug person, but yeah, some things just go too far. So anyway, Emmy, Made in Japan. Check that one out too. I think I like Ninja 2 more. So anyway, that's it for today. Check out the Hive Explorer. I'm sure you can still buy one from their website, or you can get their other thing, or check them out. But yeah, too expensive, maybe too complicated. Just give me teach me how to do it myself. I'd be a much more valuable lesson, I think. Okay, so see you guys next time here on Go Kick Me, and check us out on Facebook and Twitter at Go Kick Me, and also GoKickMedia.com. Bye.